What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Marvel Rivals. Today we are going to be going over Hela. I just wanted to make a quick guide to show you guys the basics of her kit. I've seen this character in pretty much every single one of my games and I've gotten demolished by a few of them. So I want to make sure that everyone's able to do that and rock out with this character because she is a whole ton of fun. So to get into her basic abilities first, we have her left click. It's just an 8-shot thing before you have to reload. I don't have cooldowns here, so I won't have to reload, but yeah, but it's basically hit scan. You can see that the projectile goes very, very quickly. So very good at dealing with like flying characters and all that sort of thing. You know, very quick attack. It also does have a headshot multiplier, so definitely go for headies. The headshot multiplier is pretty crazy. Like if you can see Luna right here, we'll hit 2 headies. Oh, sorry, she was not full HP, but heady, and that's a 275 health target gone in 2 headies that were basically hit scan. So if you're good at clicking on heads, this is definitely the best character for you. So definitely make sure you do that. And again, it's 4 body shots, something like that, to kill a 275 health target. So go for body shots too, but when you start hitting headies, you will start going kind of crazy. That bot just got demolished. Okay, her next ability is her right click. It's just this brief wind up, and then you throw 4 daggers at a target. Does a little bit of damage. The explosion damage is what you really want to focus on. So again, we'll do a little bit of this. It'll explode, and that's where the major damage comes from. The thing about this is that it can actually, so it can hit multiple targets. So like if we like spear this target, it's hard to get these too close enough, but it would hit in like an area around this. So definitely try and get like some cleave value out of this. If there's a bunch of people stacked in a doorway, you can definitely like utilize like the splash damage and that sort of thing. You can throw these in a choke point and they will do some good damage. It is important to note that the spears also still detonate when the target dies, but they will just detonate where the target is. So if I put spears in this guy and kill him real quick, the spears are still there and they still detonate, so they'll still do the damage. They don't disappear. So don't like throw the spears in the target and feel like you need to wait for the target to die in order for those to detonate. So important to know. The other thing is that the spear, like the splash radius on the right click, is actually pretty wide, so you can hit multiple targets very, very easily. So even if targets are about this range apart and you want to make sure that you hit both, you can just throw it on the ground in between them and you'll still do a ton of damage. So use your judgment, that sort of thing. If there's targets that you feel like you won't be able to hit all of them and you feel like this is just a better idea, you can throw them on the ground. You can also spread them out a little bit if you just flick your cursor a little bit. So you can spread them out a little bit like that, make it a little bit wider, but I would probably focus on a single area, either burst a target or something like that. So the next ability that we are going to go over is her left shift. So her left shift is her like bird form. So you turn into a crow. You go into the direction that you are currently facing when you activate it. So if I am facing up, as you saw, I was going up. If I face down, I'll be going down. If I go down, if I point it down and I use my left shift, I actually go straight at or up at an angle. It's kind of like unpredictable a little bit, but it will take you mostly straight. I've gotten straight most of the time and then up at an angle. The other thing that's kind of weird about this too is that if you collide with terrain at all, you actually go up the terrain. So yeah, so kind of weird. Probably wouldn't end up utilizing that a whole lot, because if you wanted to go up there, you could just do it like that. But weird thing to note, yeah, it won't just like slam you into a wall and then not do anything from there. It will climb the wall for you a little bit, unless you hit like a sconce or something like that, which is a little bit awkward. So yeah, so that's her left shift. Pretty simple. Her last ability is her E. Her basic ability is just this little thing that when it collides with terrain, it will pull enemies to it. So pretty simple. A lot of people don't really understand where her E is, but yeah, it will detonate when it hits terrain. It will also detonate at range too. So if I throw it from the sky right there, you can see that it actually detonates on its own, even though it didn't hit any terrain. So if you were to like throw it from like back here, it will still detonate in range of that bot and pull it, even though it didn't actually hit terrain. So this is going to be something that you can still lob from far range just for disruption purposes. You don't need to hit terrain or, you know, hit something near anybody, but, you know, I don't know. worth throwing out. Definitely don't just sit on your E. You might as well. It can also be used to like pull people out around from corners or something like that. If they're really just like corner peeking like this or something like that, you can throw it on the ground right here and it would pull them out just enough. And then if you get like 1 to 2 headies, because their auto attacks are pretty quick, then you would be able to kill them. The thing to note about this E is that it's very, very small. Like the radius is super small. So I don't know. That feels pretty small to me. But you can miss this pretty easily, but I don't know. That's about the range. So, you know, just keep that in mind. The last thing that we're going to go over before we get to her ultimate is her passive. So her passive summons this little crow whenever you kill anybody. So you can see this little crow up here. So kill this. Comes out from the, yeah. So it just does this little bit of extra AoE damage after you kill a target. So if anyone else is near it, they will take another burst of damage. So it can get a little bit crazy when you like throw these, kill a target, these all blow up, and the crow blows up. You can probably get close to another kill just with your passive blowing up and these spears blowing up when they're not really expecting any damage to come from a target that's already dead. So that's where a lot of this character's passive damage is going to come from. You're going to get most of it from getting headshots and that sort of thing, but definitely play around with her right click and just try and proc that passive as much as you possibly can, especially in choke points where there's a ton of targets stacked up. You're going to be hitting so many targets, doing so much damage. It's a little bit crazy. The last thing that we're going to go over is her ultimate. So her ultimate just sends you up into the sky, pretty much straight up. If you notice here in the center of my screen, if I try an ultimate, you actually can't use it like with something above you. So you can't do it indoors. You need to be in a little bit more of like an open area. And then it will throw you up into the sky. You will get your health changes to like 1,000 or something like that. So if I ult right here, you can see that I have 1,000 health bar and I have 8 seconds to use this. So you want to go for direct hits because as you can see, those direct hits do a little bit more damage than the splash damage, but there is splash damage on all of her abilities when she is doing that. She only has the one ability, I guess, so you're just left clicking in the sky and doing that. So yeah, so direct hit does about half HP. If I hit splash damage, does a little bit less. And you can throw these like pretty consistently too. There's like a little bit of a delay. So if I were to see like, you know, go up in the sky and just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can get about 10 shots if you just like hold it down or you just left click as much as you possibly can. The other thing is that you are not immortal when you do this. Like I said, your health goes to 1,000. So if the whole enemy team is looking at you, they can go through this pretty quickly, especially if they have like a Hawkeye and a couple other spray characters. They will get through this health bar and you can just get knocked out of your ultimate. So definitely don't use it in the face of 5 people, but try and like if your whole team is fighting over here and you know whatever, you can get kind of a cheeky angle, go up in the sky right here. I still have a couple targets in view. Can go for direct hits. If I'm not able to hit them, I can go for some splash damage, you know, go for some splash damage and go out from there. The other thing too that you just saw there is that when the effect ends, any shots that are currently in the air don't just vanish. So if you have half a second left and you throw one, it cancels you. That shot still goes, still lands. Very, very important. And again, this is a super high damage ability, much like the rest of her kit. So you're going to be getting a couple KOs, and in choke points, you're hitting, you know, 3 targets, 2 targets, 3 targets, and every time one of those targets dies, you're getting both that splash damage from the crow, and then you're also throwing more damage in with your splash damage on your ultimate, your direct hit damage on your ultimate. This character just has so much damage potential. So that's everything you really need to know about Hela. She's a pretty simple character. Just make sure you're hitting headies as much as you possibly can, and try and hit her right click when you can as well. A lot of people have not really been utilizing her E a whole lot, but just throw it out, disrupt targets, pull them into your auto attacks, that sort of thing, and go out from there. So if there's anything I missed, if there's any videos you guys want to see next, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments, and have a good rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.